Well, they say if you don't make enemies on this platform, then you're just wasting your time. And it looks like I have made another enemy on this platform. Now, guys, listen, normally I wouldn't get, involved. Let me adjust my shit here. I wouldn't get involved, right, with childish, petty ass shit that pertains to anime. But today, of all days, I got to address someone. I woke up this morning taking a deuce and a quarter ton on the crapper, and I get a message from a good buddy of mine saying, "Hey Savar, check this out. This guy has been talking about you. We have dealt with him before because this guy's a particular YouTuber, and when I went back and looked at it, I couldn't believe it. Now, I always say when you put yourself on this platform, other people have the right to criticize what you say. So out of respect, I'm not gonna go at him the way that I normally would go at someone that I know for a fact is trying to be a pompous asshole. See, it's ill will to make fun of the retarded. So I'm not going to make fun of the retarded. That's an ill will practice. I'm not going to do that. So what I am going to do is, I don't know, clap back at DragonClap TV. Your name alone tells me everything I need to know about you. DragonClap. So you give the Dragon chlamydia? I just really want to know that. DragonClap TV. I'm just trying to figure, because they're Dragon Balls. We all know Toriyama had a thing for little kids and in your window sexual puns. Just look at Master Roshi and all that shit, right? And Oolong, all that shit. So you got the Dragon Balls, and now we got DragonClap. So you see where I'm going with this? Very not so gangster, considering your, I don't know, your three pixel fucking thumbnail. But I digress. Let's add you to my thing. Let me look at this. Let me see your channel consists of Dragon Ball. Okay. Savar Matner humbled by Dragon Ball Daima finally being confirmed canon. I never said that Dragon Ball Daima wasn't canon. Right. Well, yeah, I did. Originally, I did, because then it makes sense where it fell in the storyline. However, I came out after episode 3 or 4 when they showed the Kais, and then came out and said this is canon. Now, do I believe this is a side story? You can say that, but then I even went a step further and explained that it is not a side story. As a matter of fact, it is canon to the main storyline, just as well as Super and as GT is. But see, people like you just picking certain, areas of my old videos to try to back up your argument. My last Dragon Ball Diamond video that I talked about on my live stream, actually this past week, I went back and said it again, that Daima and Super and GT is all part of the same continuity. It's just the one you prefer to watch to end the story of Z. If you watch Daima, you watch it where it picks up right after Boo. You watch Super, you watch it right where it picks up after Boo. They won't flow back into Z. They essentially end Z in their own way. If you want to watch GT, then you watch all of Z in the GT. It's common sense the more you think about it. It took me a while to figure it out, but the narrative that it's a different timeline or a different storyline is not, and that was proved to be a factual thing when Shueisha and Toriyama released a timeline with Super being in there between GT and Z. However, Super will not flow into GT. It cannot. It makes no sense. You have God powers. Daima won't flow into GT because of what happened in Daima alone. Goku achieved Super Saiyan 4 with training, whereas in GT he has tail pulled out. But let's go through. Savar Matner is desperate to stop Dragon Ball canon story. I'm a no one when it comes to trying to stop a story. See, this tells me you're desperate to stir the pot. I'm a very small YouTube channel that talks about a plethora of a lot of shit. Some of my greatest videos is about Leo and longevity, geekdom, and other drama things like with Greg Doucette. Dragon Ball is really not on my top tier of shit that I normally talk about over here. Daima was something new, so I talked about it. But now that Daima's dead, most of my anime that I'm going to be talking about have to do with like Solo Leveling and some other shit that I'm watching. But anyway, let's keep going. Savar Matner joins the blueprint against Dragon Ball Super and Daima. I, for one, doesn't hate Super. I hate Dragon Ball Evolution, but I don't hate Super. Do I think Super can do better? Absolutely. Did I dislike Daima? Oh, absolutely. Daima is garbage. It will be garbage. Don't take it from me. Just go on Geekdom's channel and look at all the people that's actually saying the same shit that I've been saying for months. It's a GT 2.0 ripoff, and we all know it is. Super took ideas from GT. That's why Super is a better telling story of the GT franchise than Daima. It's just Toriyama wanted to take the GT ideal and put it on a grander scale, grander, right? Grander, and make all of the characters kids. And I can keep going on and on and on and on. I mean, your channel tells me a lot. Here's a new flash. Super Saiyan 4 was always canon. You were just too stupid. I say I wasn't going to speak ill to retarded. You were just left out of the loop. Super Saiyan 4 was always canon. It was always a canon character. And we can go back and forth about GT not being canon, but we all know GT is indeed canon. Toriyama had to do damage control and not come right out and say it was canon. That's why he called it a grand side story of the original Dragon Ball. He acknowledges that it's part of the original Dragon Ball continuity. He never said separate timeline. As a matter of fact, it picked up, 10 years after, 5 years after the events of the World Martial Arts Tournament when Z ended. Literally in the same timeline, not different universe, not separate timelines. It was always the original ending to the whole Dragon Ball franchise. He didn't want to write the story. He didn't want to do a manga. He wanted to tap out with Z. And if you had any common sense, you knew how to use Google. Oh, wait, I'm not going to speak ill to retarded. If you knew how to use Google and you type in when did Z end and when did GT begin, they were basically days apart. I think Z ended January 31st, 1996. I think GT started fucking February of the same year. It was literally not that far apart. So that means they already had GT drawn up, storyline ready to go while Z was in the final phase. When Toriyama was doing the Buu saga, pretty much, GT was already being written. So when Z ended and GT picked up, that's when it took off. They used and sourced ideas of the original Z material, the manga, and decided to create what we know today as GT. That's facts. But I don't want to go on a tangent. But GT is canon, and Super Saiyan 4 was always canon. It just wasn't Toriyama Super Saiyan 4. So since it wasn't Toriyama Super Saiyan 4, and this is Toriyama Super Saiyan 4, you people deem it canon. And a lot of people hated this Super Saiyan 4 design, by the way. That's factual evidence. But if I look, Geekdom got mad at DragonClap TV for being right about Dragon Ball canon. Listen, you can't take anything from Geekdom and deem it truth. Anyone that actually believes Geekdom has a screw loose. But how can you say something about Geekdom when you yourself, based on all your videos, you got a lot of things wrong and you're doing a lot of damage control? Haters finally admit they were wrong about Daima. I wasn't wrong about Daima. Daima sucks. The majority of the franchise think it sucks. The fan franchise think it sucks. The majority of the fans, they think it sucks. You don't. See, you don't. See, you're the little minority. See, you're the small little minority, right? That deem that this shit is good. Daima had a rush story. It had just overall, they rehashed a lot of GT. They teased Fusion, never happened. That would get you to keep watching the shit. They had to retcon how Super Saiyan 4 was achieved. Everybody thought that never, this guy right here, this Namekian, altered Goku's DNA. And then at the end, Goku said he trained, but he wasn't sure that he can do it. And then Never just gave him some energy pretty much. And he decided to go for broke. And he went Super Saiyan 4 as a kid. And then he went Super Saiyan 4 again as an adult. Oh, and by the way, his tail magically grows when he becomes Super Saiyan. Just stop it. Just stop it. Super Saiyan 4 is confirmed weaker than God form. So that goes without saying. That goes without saying. If you know how to power scale, Super Saiyan God, the red Super Saiyan form, right, about the gods, is Super Saiyan 4 level strength. That means Super Saiyan Blue trumps Super Saiyan 4. Now, can Super Saiyan Blue go against Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta? That's another argument to be had. But yes, that's common sense. That's exactly why Super won't tie into GT. That's exactly why I keep telling fans to forget about the end of Z, because Super is not going to tie back into the end of Z. They're taking ideas and giving you that in the storyline. But if they end it back with the tournament to end Z, then that means Super continuity wise would technically go back into GT, but that's not going to happen. That's why it's alternate endings to Z. Super is own continuity, Daima is own continuity, GT is own continuity, but they all take place right at the same apex of a timeline. All of them. They come right after Boo. Every last one of them come after Boo in the same timeline. They just go a different tangent. Anyway, I digress. I can just keep going. The toxic behavior in Goku fandom and why it matters. I'm a Vegeta guy. I think Goku sucks. Goku sucks. Goku get power ups just from yelling. But if you're a Goku fan, then that means you're like a Tom Brady fan. You're just jumping on the team with the most wins. Real Goku fans know that Goku wouldn't achieve a lot of shit that he achieved without help and stealing techniques from other people. Just call it the way I see it. Goku sucks. Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 3 transformation you've never seen. What's different about it? Why is Vegeta, his hair will go down to the back of his kneecap like Goku? Everybody's form isn't going to be the same. Kefla's Super Saiyan form, but Kale Super Saiyan form, legendary form, was nothing like Brawly. They look totally different. Same ideal concept, they look totally different. Gohan fans need this. Grab my top here. Gohan was nonchalant Daima. And I can just keep going on and on and on and on. Look, is Vegeta untrustworthy in Dragon Ball Super? Don't even know how you got to that. When GT fans can't handle the canon truth. So that tells me your age. You got to be younger than me. I'll be 39 this year, so you got to be younger than me. If I had to take a wild guess, you're probably in your early to mid 20s. So you really wasn't around for the GT thing. But us old heads, right? Us old guards, we call that bait raging. Because see, before Super and before Daima, besides the few little geeks online that was in the back forums during the mid and late 90s, that basically said GT's not canon because Toriyama didn't write it and he didn't make a manga. But in Toriyama's own words, I gave them the green light to continue the story. He acknowledged that the story was going to continue without him involving. But here's the kicker that you're too, I can't make elder retarded. That you don't want to accept. Toriyama named the damn show. Canon means continuity of the same story in the same timeline. With a author, the original author, crediting the work or citing the work, and guess what? His name was only the ending credits, based on the original story. That alone made GT canon. All the evidence back me up. Whether you guys like it or not, it backs me up. Toriyama never denied that it wasn't canon to begin with. And guess what? Japan doesn't care what's canon or not. We over here in America do, because of chronologically the order of stuff. But Japan doesn't care about it. But Toriyama never came out and said that it wasn't. You guys said that. Daima doesn't have a manga. But why? Because Toriyama wrote it. That makes it canon, right? But it doesn't have a manga. I thought you needed a manga for it to be canon, regardless if the author wrote it or not. Toriyama came up with some of the name designs in GT, some of the character designs. He approved the storylines. He named the damn franchise. That made it canon. If he didn't want it to be canon, he should have came right out and said explicitly that it is not canon. He never did that. So, see, you can't handle the truth. You can't. How to roast a Goku fan. Goku got shot by a beam from a gun, a ring from Sabo. Sorry, whatever the fuck that dude named, that Frisian henchman in Super. That's enough to roast a Goku fan. You ain't gotta say nothing else. That roast is a Goku fan. So, and see, Black Sasuke debate. Kaiba versus Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I don't want to touch that with a long-handed spoon. And I know Black Sasuke. So I'm pretty sure that debate didn't go the way that you wanted to fucking go. But listen, it's not about them. It is about me and you and why you have a problem with me. See, here's why you can't stand people like me. I don't agree with you. And I'm not. My opinion is Daima sucks. On a scale from 1 to 10, I give it a 3, maybe a 4. And that's being generous. I mean, that's an F grade. It's like the goddamn new Snow White flop in theaters. That they're trying to make it seem like it's the best thing in the world right now because it's the only thing out there to watch. So it's number 1 in the fucking world. Daima is just as bad as the upcoming Toy Story 5. I don't even know. Can somebody tell me how is Toy Story even still to this day a fucking thing? Can somebody tell me that? How is Toy Story still to this day a fucking thing? I understand it was Toriyama's last work. I get it. And Dragon Ball fans think that because it was Toriyama's last work, that we all should just clap our hands and just say, hey, you know, it's Toriyama's last project. We should be happy. But see, it's just like Bronny James. How LeBron amped his son up like LeVar Ball did for you basketball enthusiasts out there. And Bronny James, the last couple games been doing good, but when he first got there, he was like garbage, right? And people didn't agree with Stephen A. Smith, the way he said what he said about Bronny, right? But the action shows that he wasn't quite ready for the NBA. That's how Daima was. Everybody amped this up. Geetham said it was going to be bloody because it would come on late nights. And I went into that same video and left a comment and said that is a very high assumption that you believe that that's going to happen. And it never did. There were very minimum fucking the only thing even close to gore was fucking Goma being shot through the chest by Kamehameha. That was it. That was the gore that Geekdom was trying to portray, because it was gonna come on late nights. See, Geekdom amped up Daima, and then people like you amped it up, and Daima flopped. It's you can like it. You are entitled to that. It sucked. It didn't have no good story. They did utilize the characters in a way that would have made more sense. They sat there and took ideas from Jiren, the outfits and all that, to give you a demon that was pretty much a Garlic Jr. / Jiren reject. The Oculus Eye pretty much made sure that he was an immortal being with an end, and then he had Jiren-like strength. And if it wasn't for Margin Ku hitting him behind the head 3 times consecutively, which was the stupidest thing in the world, by the way, Goku would have got humbled again with Super Saiyan 4. He would have got humbled. He was getting tired. He was getting drained. Stop it. They tease a fusion. You got 3 Kais there. You could have fused 3 Kais. That whole story felt like a Supreme Kai coming out party, and they dropped the ball. Just guess who got locked up like in the evil containment wave with Goma, and Aranetsu is now the second highest person in power in the demon realm after Margin Ku. Stop it. Stop. Just stop. And then you guys are amping up a season 2 when it clearly said the end. The end means the end. And I'm always be on record to say, if they wanted this to make more sense, as my camera tried to focus, if they wanted this to make more sense, they should have waited to after Super, or at least to after GT, to give you Daima. Or they could have redid GT, then put out GT, or they could have put it after Super. That way you could have just watched Super and the Daima, and that would end that whole continuity, or you could have watched Dragon Ball Z and the Dragon Ball GT. That way you only got 2 endings instead of fucking 3. Super's not done. We have no idea when it's going to end, but we know Black Freeze, that arc is going to be coming eventually. And we already know Gogeta's going to be the person that Black Freeze is going to fight. Go back and watch Dragon Ball Super Broly. But I want you to tell me, how was I humbled? I didn't back down. I said it sucks. I criticized it when it needed to be criticized, and I praised it when it needed to be praised. Did I like watching adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta? Absolutely. I'm a Vegeta fan. But I would have liked to see that form earlier, like say in the Battle of the Gods. Shout out to Skylar for pointing that out. When Vegeta fucking yelled, "My Buna!" and they said that at that point he temporarily surpassed Goku in strength. That should have been a time right there to see Vegeta go Super Saiyan 3. But we didn't get it. We didn't get it. We had to wait for Daima. See, Daima was a fan-made series for the fans that won Super Saiyan 3 and the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. It's facts. Facts doesn't care about your feelings. It's facts. I was one of the fans that wanted Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta for the longest. But I had to wait till Daima to see it. And it didn't make sense to me. And then to hear, I trained for Super Saiyan 3 after Buu, but Buu, that battle wasn't that far removed. It wasn't, that battle had just ended. It basically had just ended. It wasn't that far gone, right? So when Goku said that was a complete retcon. Period. And I think you said in one of your thumbnails, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta was stronger and GT or something. Something I seen on one of your thumbnails. Now, I think I already addressed it. I think I did because there's a lot to address. But Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and Daima is not stronger than Goku and GT. Okay, bar none, period. That's just facts. Omega Shenron versus Goma. My money's on Omega Shenron. He's the goddamn eternal dragon. The only reason why he died was from a universal fucking spirit bomb. It basically eradicated him. But Omega Shenron can regenerate. He was fucking pretty much an immortal fucking being. All 7 dragons. I mean, yeah. Gogeta. If you would have got Gogeta versus Goma and Daima, my money's on Gogeta at that point to whoop Goma. I think a Big Bang Kamehameha would have got the job done. It would have eradicated him. As long as you eradicate all, because they didn't say he was immortal. The Eternal Dragon technically is not immortal. Now I think about it, because he can be erased. You killed the Namekian that created Dragon Balls, you essentially killed the Eternal Dragon. So technically the Eternal Dragon is fucking not eternal. And you can eradicate. Beerus can damn sure do it. So that doesn't really make him an immortal being. He's just an eternal being, but not an immortal being. So, but my money would have been on Omega Shenron to whoop Goma's ass, bar none. And the more I think about it, they took out this Omega Shenron, the Tamigamis with the balls in them, and the Oculus Eye. I think 1 or 2 dragons had a ball on their head, so they took ideas from that. But to go out your way and say Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is stronger than Goku and GT, I think that was the thumbnail that I didn't address. No, you're smoking crack. You're smoking hella crack, because Super Saiyan 3 Goku and GT actually had a fucking tail. And it was stated in GT that Saiyan with his tail, that Saiyan is able to tap into his true powers. That's why cutting the Saiyan's tail off in Z made the Saiyan weaker. They had to adapt without a tail. So right there, you fucked up your own argument. So no, Vegeta would have got humble and smacked up in fucking GT. They finally made them equals at the end when Vegeta used Bulma to cheat to get Super Saiyan fucking 4. That's when they became equals. They're equals in Super. It's just Ultra Instinct is a technique that Vegeta doesn't have to worry about. He has Ultra Ego. See, Ultra Instinct is the ultimate defensive technique, and Ultra Ego is the ultimate attack technique. If you beat Vegeta up, he gets stronger, more destructive. Oh, and it's spirit fission. But I don't want to digress. I don't want to warp your mind. It's about Daima. So let's end it with this. Daima's gone now. So you can keep rehashing videos all you want. You can keep pushing the narrative that Daima is great, awesome. That's your opinion. And you can use me for clout. I'm a very small channel, man. I don't do this for money. I trust me. Savar Matner's fine. I've been traveling and shit. I'm legit. I wouldn't have even addressed you until my source texts me, well, my friend, I don't know, source texts me that I ain't know about your channel. I knew there was some rumblings that Geekdom has been spewing some bullshit about little old me. But, you know, Geekdom was the same guy that said you got to milk the ball, Masters, back when he was part of the league. Shout out to the league and the NBA over there on Twitch and shit doing their fucking thing. See, he's the same guy that 1 minute is for the fans, and then the next minute tell you he doesn't care. He doesn't need the fans. He just needs loyalists that will agree with everything he fucking says. So now that Daima is over with and it is dead, thank God it is dead. What you got next? What, you gonna rehash and jump on my old videos You're gonna pull some of Geekdom's old videos and talk about that. See, your whole channel tells me everything about you. You live and breathe Dragon Ball, but you know things don't last always. Everything has an expiration date. Eventually, your fans is going to stop watching, and then you're gonna find out who your loyal fans are. And based on the size of your channel and mine, that's probably about 150 to 200 loyal motherfuckers that will watch any and everything you put out. But even they will get tired of the same shit. So I'm only going to address this one time. You can make 50 videos about me. You can cut it up and edit and do all that shit. But you know what's going to happen? All you're going to do is send the people that agree with me over to this channel. Even some of your followers are going to come over here and watch this whole video. Not cut up parts. Not you trying to pull out parts to try to make a video out of, because that's what you did. And that's fine. That's what people do when they want to have something to push their beliefs. I always say that this was GT 2.0. It will always be GT 2.0. And even though it's Akira Toriyama's final piece of work, it was garbage. Don't take it from me. The evidence. What did Samuel just say in Boondocks? The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Right? So one doesn't exist without the other. The evidence is there. That means you can believe it or you can deny it. The absence of evidence doesn't mean that the evidence doesn't exist. It's there. You just haven't found it yet. There's a yin to a yang. You can go to Geekdom's channel and read his comments. The majority is hating on Diamond. Every Diamond video he talk about, people hate it. It sucked. Very few people agree. The majority hates it. They want Super to come back. Every Dragon Ball Diamond channels have that ratio. The diehard fans is like, it was good. You are a Dragon Ball hater because we have an opinion. And that's you. You're part of that small minority that doesn't like when fans voice an opinion that you doesn't agree with. And that's fine. You have that right. But me being humble, no, sir. I took dumps, right? Like this morning, that had more meaning than Dragon Ball Diamond. And then when it goes down into the pipes, into the septic tanks where it would, erode away right before it gets through the water plants and they do their fucking thing to keep the sewers and shit clean and shit. The microorganisms that eat that has more volume, more value, more life, more of an impact than Daima. I live in reality. I don't live in the anime world. So I don't take this shit personally. I'm just stating it. And for you to get that mad, man, I don't know. Really, you made more videos about me, but you just put my name in there to get my attention. I wasn't going to respond until I was notified this morning. That means you are obsessed with this shit. I am not. So I'm only gonna make this one video. And you can do with it what you want to do with it. You can watch it over and over again. But facts are facts. And facts supports me. I'll be live after this week. I gotta travel this week, but I'll be back following week. All you gotta do is pop up in my goddamn live stream. I will bring you on. And you can say to me why I was wrong about Diamond. And I will say to you back why I was right about Diamond. With factual fucking evidence. It's just simple as that. Period. So you can make your channel about me. You can make it about Dragon Ball. You can try to pull the Geekdom thing and do a whole Dragon Ball channel. But I'm done with Daimond's dead. Talk about solo leveling. Talk about One Punch Man coming back. Talk about some real decent shit. Instead of worrying about dead and dying Dragon Ball shit, because it's dying. a very slow, painful, but well-deserved death. Because after Super, I pray to God they don't bring Dragon Ball back no more. They need to let it die. Bring back Yu Yu Hakusho or something. I like the remake of Rurouni Kenshin. And there's a couple other animes that I'm actually checking out on Crunchyroll that seem pretty goddamn legit that I will be talking about. My channel is moving past Dragon Ball. We don't sit here and dwell on that shit. You can though. Be my guest. Football season right around the corner. I mean, we're gonna sit here and worry about some fucking garbage. 4 out of 10. Savar Matner wasn't humbled. I admitted when I was wrong. I was wrong about the fusion. Hell, we all was. So I had to eat some humble pie on that. See, I can admit when I'm wrong. I have no problem with that. Have absolutely no problem with that. I thought Super Saiyan 4 wasn't gonna be a thing in it, and it was. I was already told about Super Saiyan 3. I know people that know people that know people. I didn't want to believe it because it was just pictures and renderings with no cited source. However, it came to pass. I had to eat humble pie on that one. So if admitting I was wrong is a bad thing, then that means I'm not an adult. I'm still a little kid if I can admit when I'm wrong. But being humble about a franchise that was garbage, oh no, sir. No. Once again, I'm not gonna speak ill or retarded. I'm not gonna do that. I would rather watch paint dry than to sit there and watch or talk about Dragon Ball fucking Daima for another fucking day of existence. Because it was fucking garbage. It will always be fucking garbage. And they need to bury that with evolution. That's it. That's all I got to say about that, guys. You guys take care. Speed Boy Savar Matner, DragonClap TV. Anytime you want to voice your opinion, not go live, please feel free to come on, and I will bring you on, and you can say what you want to say about it in real time with me. Until then, you all take care. I got shit to do. It's Sunday. I got shit to do. This Speed Boy Savar Matner. I'm Iowa One. Peace.